Hey class, welcome back to another day of math here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the weather yesterday. It was a gorgeous day out. Hopefully you guys got outside for a little bit. All right. If you had not checked over the homework before the practice 7.2 homework, please do that before you start these notes, as I made some comments on there for you. Okay. And just as always, right, print these notes out or follow along in your binder. All right. So today we're going to be talking about multiplying binomials. Okay. So what is a binomial? This is kind of a little bit of a review. All right. Is a binomial something with one term, two terms, three terms, or four terms? All right, so multiplying by binomials, right? We're going to simplify the following binomials using FOIL, right? F-O-I-L, which is kind of also known as your distributive property here. Okay, so look at that. A binomial has two terms here, right? So we're multiplying two-term polynomials together here. So in example number one, we have x plus 4 times x plus 2. Okay, so to simplify multiplying binomials, all right, we are going to do this. We are going to multiply our first terms together. So we get x times x. We're going to multiply our outside terms together. So we have a positive x times a positive 2. We're going to multiply our inside terms together. So we get a positive 4 times a positive x. And we're going to multiply our last terms together. So we get a positive 4 times a positive 2. All right, so we have to distribute here and multiply, all right? And as you recall from yesterday's lesson, we're going to use this product property of exponents here when we simplify now. So an x times an x, right, is really like an x to the first times another x to the first. So we get x to the second power. And x times 2 is just a positive 2x. A 4 times an x is just a positive 4x. And a 4 times a 2 is a positive 8. All right, now we're almost done, except I see a couple of like terms here. An x and another x here, right? And as if we recall, when we combine like terms, right, we just add them up and we do not touch those exponents, all right? So my final simplified answer should be x squared plus 6x plus 8. I'm going to go ahead and box it up. All right, so we got example 2 here. We got 2x plus 3 times x plus 8. All right, again, we're going to multiply our first terms, right? So we're going to get 2x times x. We're going to multiply our outside terms. So that's going to be a positive 2x times 8. We're going to multiply our inside terms. So we get a positive 3 times x. And we're going to multiply our last terms. We get a positive 3 times a positive 8. All right, so now I'm ready to do a little more simplifying here, right? So 2x times another x, right? Again, these are little x to the first here. So we're going to get 2x to the second power. All right, and 2x times 8 is a positive 16x. And a 3 times an x is a positive 3x. And last but not least, we have a 3 times 8, and we get a positive 24. And again, I'm not done yet because I have a couple of like terms here that I need to add together. So then now my final simplified answer is going to be 2x squared plus 19x plus 24. All right, so let's take a look at some of these key ideas here, okay, that helped us simplify this problem. All right, so the key ideas is these 4 letters, right? F-O-I-L for first, outside, inside, and last. Right? That just tells me the order to multiply. My first terms, my outside terms, my inside terms, and my last terms. All right. And this is an acronym that we can use to remember how to multiply two binomials, all right? And this really only works for binomials. And we're also going to use this product rule of exponents, right? We've seen this thing before, all right? This is where we have two of the same variables with the same base. We're going to add the exponents together when we multiply, all right? So we add the exponents together when we multiply the same base. All right, so now let's do some more example problems here. All right, we got example 3. It says 3x plus 4 times 2x plus 5. Again, first terms, I'm going to multiply 3x times 2x. My outside terms, or my outer terms, is 3x times a positive 5. My inside, or my inner terms, are a positive 4 times a positive 2x. And my last terms are a positive 4 times a positive 5. All right. Again, it may not be a bad idea to have a calculator out with us. You can use your phone as long as you're not being too distracted by it. I know how distracting those phones can be, myself included here. All right, so now we're going to do some simplifying, right? We're going to use this product rule here. So 3x to the first times 2x to the first is going to be 6x to the second power. A positive 3x times 5 is a positive 15x. A positive 4 times a positive 2x is a positive 8x. And a positive 4 times a positive 5 is a positive 20. All right, not quite done yet because I have a couple like terms here that I need to combine. So now my final simplified solution is 6x squared plus 23x plus 20. And as we recall, right, I can't combine anything else because this is an x squared, this term is an x, and this one is just a number or a constant at 20. All right, number 4. Uh-oh, I see a minus sign in there, all right? No big deal, right? We're just going to take our time, go slow, and use that calculator, right? Anytime you have those negatives, right, you just want to go a little bit slower and check your work. All right, we got 2x times 2x. We have a positive 2x times this time is going to be a negative 3, right? This minus 3 is really like a negative 3 because that's a sign in front of that 3, okay? And now we have a positive 4 times a 2x, all right? And my writing is kind of big here, so hopefully you have enough room on your sheet. Hopefully I left you enough room here. I know that was a suggestion, so I think on the next side here, there'll be definitely more room for you to write. And then our last terms that we're going to multiply is a positive 4 times a negative 3. All right, now I can do some of my simplifying here. Right, again, these are really little x to the firsts. So 2x to the first times 2x to the first is going to be 4x to the second. All right, a positive 2x times a negative 3. All right, this is where my negative signs come in. Is going to be a negative 6x. All right, and we want to write one sign here, right? A positive times a negative is a negative. All right, and a positive 4 times a positive 2x is going to be a positive 8x. And a positive 4 times a negative 3, again, a positive times a negative is a negative. So we get a negative 12 or a minus 12. And again, be careful with your minus signs here, right? Again, use a calculator. You have that as a tool, use it to your advantage. All right, so now when I clean this up, I have 4x squared. A negative 6 plus 8 is going to be a positive 2x minus 12. All right, not too bad here. Why don't you try number 5 on your own here, and then check your answer over and see what you get. All right, let's see. X times x plus x times 5 plus 2 times x plus 2 times 5. All right, well, x times x gives me x squared, right? X times 5 is a positive 5x. 2 times x is a positive 2x. And 2 times 5 is going to be a positive 10. So now I can combine my x terms together. So x squared plus 7x plus 10. And again, when I add up my like terms here, right, when I'm just adding, I do not touch the exponents, right? The exponent stays the same. All right, number 6, we get x minus 6 times 2x plus 4. Again, we got a minus sign here, all right, so be careful. All right, so we get x times 2x. I'm going to try to write a little smaller to squeeze this in. We have x times a positive 4. Right, so we got a positive x times a positive 4. We got this, here we go, we got a negative 6 times that 2x. And we got a negative 6 times a 4. Look at that, I squeezed it in there. All right, so x times 2x. And again, these are little exponents here again. And we're going to add up. So this will give me 2x to the second power. Right, x times 4 gives me a positive 4x. A negative 6 times 2x is going to be a negative 12x. And then a negative 6 times 4 is a negative 24. And I got some like terms here that I can combine. And we get 2x squared minus 8x minus 24. Again, with these terms here, right, we're going to simply punch that to our calculator, right? A positive 4 minus 12 is going to be a negative 8. All right, we got 2 more here, and this last one here is going to be a little crazy. I see some big numbers there, but I think we can handle this. All right, let's do this. We got 2 more to do. All right, we got 2x times 3x. All right, and maybe eventually at some point with enough practice, you guys can maybe skip this middle step here, right? This step here of writing it out, right? Maybe we can not do it, right? If as soon as we get a little more practice with it, you know, maybe you can just jump right into this third step here. All right. But for these last 2 problems, right, I'm going to work all these out for you. All right, so we got 2x times 3x. We have 2x, sorry, positive 2x times a negative 2. We got this negative 3 times a 3x. And we got this negative 3 times a negative 2. And notice how they put that negative, kind of said that kind of funny, didn't I? All right, so x to the first. We should get 6x to the second here. A positive 2x times a negative 2 is a negative 4x. A negative 3 times a negative 3x is a negative 9x. And then a negative times a negative is a positive, right? So 3 times 2 gives me that positive 6. And again, I'm going to have these like terms in the middle here. This will kind of always work out this way when we use that FOIL method, right? So now my final simplified solution is going to be 6x squared minus 13x. Again, be careful with these minus signs, right? A negative 4 minus 9 more is a negative 13 plus 6. All right, let's do a crazy one here. Number 8. All right. 4x squared times 5x squared. Right, 4x squared times a positive 3, right? And it's a positive 4x squared times a positive 3. We have a positive 2 times a positive 5x squared. And I forgot to write small. And we have a positive 2 times a positive 3. All right, using that product rule of exponents, right? We're going to add up these little exponents here, right? And we're going to multiply our bigs. So we get 20x to the 4th, right? Plus 4x squared times 3 is going to be 12x squared, right? 2 times 5x squared is a positive 10x squared. And a positive 2 times a positive 3 is a positive 6. Again, we're not completely done yet because I have some like terms here. All right, so I get 20x to the 4th. Right, these are like terms, so I'm just going to add those up and not touch the exponents, right? This will be 22x to the 2nd, and then plus 6. And that is how we multiply binomials. All right, now it's time for you to do a little homework. All right, you can work on practice 7.3.